We have two things. We have an open strait, and we have a country that will never have a nuclear weapon. Will never, ever have a nuclear weapon. We're doing very well in terms of negotiating a fair and reasonable deal.
Good evening, I'm Dagan McDowell.
And I'm Brian Brenberg. Welcome to The Bottom Line. On to the next phase. On again, off again. Iran talks are on again. Vice President Vance leaving Switzerland today, where he spent the weekend with a U.S. delegation, hashing things out with the Iranians, and both sides calling it progress.
A bit of a bumpy road to finesse an agreed upon 60-day roadmap to a final deal, but the vice president can handle a little bit of unruliness.
I feel great about the progress that we made over the last couple of days. The fundamental thing we got is, number one, we set up the mechanism to ensure not only the Straits of Hormuz are open, but will stay open. Number two, we actually set up the right mechanism to ensure the regional ceasefire. We have the Iranians allowing weapons inspectors, nuclear inspectors into their country for the first time in a long time. Finally, we continue to make progress on these technical negotiations. We left a lot of our team, the Iranians left a lot of their team at the resort there to keep on working at it. This is laying a foundation for what could be a truly transformed Middle East.
Point number two is the meat and potatoes here, something President Trump is promoting today. Quote, everybody is fully aware that Iran will agree to have major weapons inspections in order to ensure nuclear honesty long into the future.
So as long as everybody includes Tehran, that could mean the end of Iran's nuclear program and the end of the regime blocking inspectors from its enrichment locations. In recognition of this and Iran committing to keeping the Strait of Hormuz open, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent issuing a 60-day license authorizing Iran to produce, deliver, and sell oil.
In dollars, this waiver lasts through August 21st and gives Tehran the ability to openly sell oil. Let me repeat it, sanctions-free in dollars. That would essentially be something that hasn't happened in the era of oil sanctions on the Iranian regime. And the U.S. is also allowed to buy Iranian crude, something that hasn't happened since at least the early 90s, so 35 years. So use this time wisely, Iran. President Trump telling Fox News, Trey Yingst, quote, we have the cards. I have a 60-day option, and I can do whatever I want after that option.
The next tough talker being deployed, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who departs tomorrow for a trip to the Middle East, specifically the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain, where he'll attempt to soothe concerns among allies stemming from the Memo of Understanding. Well, for more, let's bring in former Deputy National Security Advisor, KT McFarland. KT, it's great to see you. Here's what's been on my mind, okay? We're talking about frameworks with Iran, and both sides seem to be happy with the progress. But these are the kind of people who will hang their own citizens for dressing the wrong way. So are we putting too much trust in doing a framework with them, KT?
Well, you don't trust them at all. That's why you have verification. And as Dagan just said, you need real verification, not let's make an appointment and we'll come and visit a site. It's anytime, any place. We show up at the door, you open the door, we have to see what's inside the door. If you're not going to let us do that, we're assuming you're cheating. And then we enforce the agreement, which is either taking more military action or more economic sanctions, reimpose the sanctions. So am I concerned about, I don't think antitrust has anything to do with it. It's, you have to verify that they're doing what they say they're doing. And they have a lot of incentives to do it. And then they have a lot of disincentives not to cheat, because if they do cheat, sanctions go right back on, military action immediately ensues. So I think what will happen is that for the next 60 days, we'll go back and forth, this deal, that deal. A lot of technical things will be going on behind the scenes. But at the end of 60 days, they must agree to any time, any place, sanctions and inspections.
Iran is allowed to sell oil in dollars for the next 60 days. Even U.S. refiners are allowed to buy Iranian oil, KT. And quite frankly, the U.S. and the world were brought to this point, and the kind of the why now in this is that global inventories were so low that we were facing as a world a massive price spike to curb demand to the point that we could deal with these rock bottom inventories. So where does this leave Iran? Because Iran will surely use at least some of this money, if not all of it, on terrorist activities, will they not?
You know, we can see something different has happened this time around, is that we can see their money moving.
Right.
For example, Scott Bessent said if they will unfreeze their assets, but they have to buy U.S. agricultural products. So in other words, they can't use that money, the unfrozen assets, to buy terror. They can't give it to Hezbollah. They can't use it on their nuclear program. The other thing is that we'll see where they move large chunks of money. We couldn't do that a couple of years ago. We now see, because a lot of those countries that Marco Rubio is going to go visit this week, you know, the UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, they keep the Iran and the IRGC kept a lot of its money in those offshore banks. Those countries have opened their books to us. So we see where the money is, we see where it's moving. So I don't think Iran can cheat in a big way like it has always cheated in the past without us detecting it.
And that's also the reasoning behind allowing the sale of the oil in dollars.
You can track it.
Right.
Okay, I want to move on to this, KT.
You can track it.
Right. NATO chief Mark Rutte is heading to the White House this week to meet with the president amid some, I don't know, shall we call it friction between the U.S. and the alliance. Here's what Trump had to say tonight before the meeting.
We have been a great member of NATO, in many ways, certainly the predominant member. The numbers that we spend are so crazy on NATO, and they weren't there for us. We spend all of this money, and then when we want to maybe have help on small stuff, this is small time. This is not the big one. This is small potatoes. They say no, would rather not help. Stupid thing to say, because we can say that to them if we want, and we might.
Trump and Rutte get along, but I don't know if anybody else in the NATO alliance does at this point. What do you expect to see?
I would not want to be Mark Rutte going to this meeting. He and Trump do get along. And he has gone to the NATO member states saying, pay your money. He has gone to those NATO member states saying, work with the United States on the Iran war. But the member states, including some of our closest member states, have said we can't, the United States can't use any NATO bases. You know, we pay for those bases. Those are supposed to be things we have access to, but these NATO countries have said no. And that adds on top of the fact that most of them are not meeting their NATO commitments. And then in addition to that, if you listen to the European press, they think this Iran war is just nuts. They think it's Donald Trump's fault that he made war on a nice country, and that they don't understand the nuclear issue, and they look at the Strait of Hormuz being closed and say, Donald Trump, you did this. Everything was fine before you got involved. The Strait was open. We didn't have any problems with Iran. Now we've got all these problems. Donald Trump, it's your fault. We're not going to help you fix it. You need to fix it.
Yeah, they were getting along so well with that terror regime.
Yeah, exactly.
KT McFarland, great to see you always. Thank you so much.
Thanks, KT.
Thank you.